I've watched episode 1, 2 and 3 of Star Trek Discovery, and I waited to do this review because I wanted to actually watch the third episode. The first episode and second, well, the first and second episode was just a prequel, and it was actually okay, kind of predictable. It did what it was meant to do, which is set up the scene for why things are happening and who some of these people are. It looks really high end in terms of videography and just the actual look of the show. It looks very serious, which is good. Obviously it looks very modern, more advanced than Star Trek, the original series, and I think I can forgive that, having watched 3 episodes now. It does feel like Star Trek. You even have some of the bridge sounds from a couple of the different series, and just hearing those when somebody comes onto the bridge, it actually does make you feel like you're watching Star Trek. And one of the best things about it is they have tried to inject some humor into it. So basically, the whole idea of having the Klingons as the bad guys is really good, and I'm glad they've moved away from the Romulans. It's always Romulan here or there, or even in the movies, and it was just getting a bit annoying for me, to be honest with you. The Klingons are my favourite race in Star Trek. This isn't the first time we've seen the Klingons change appearance. Like the Klingons on the original series, they had smooth foreheads. You could tell that they were just white guys with some black shoe polish on or whatever it was. They were just browned up. The only thing that actually differentiated them was their uniforms, so that was a good change. So for Star Trek the motion picture, we discovered the new Klingons with the forehead ridges, but they had hair, so they had hair around like a horseshoe shape. Having looked at the Klingons on Star Trek Next Generation and the movies, and obviously the rest of the TV shows, I have noticed that they haven't really done that much to the forehead. It's mainly around the nose area, and it's just the immediate face area, whereas the ridges are still ridges. And if you actually draw like a horseshoe shape hairline or like a wig or something, they would look pretty much similar to the Klingons that we know. So to be honest with you, they really haven't changed that much. They have made them look a bit more beefier. The whole spiky outfits is a bit too much, I think. But I guess if they are an ancient sect, or they're like the super religious side, then I think it's fine. Having that different clothing does actually make it a bit different and obviously weird, and you can't get to grips with it. But I guess you could say that these types of Klingons are the religious old school kind of guys, and the Next Generation Klingons are the military guys. And then you meet this woman called Michael Burnham. Okay, so first thing, I've never ever met a woman called Michael. I know it's going to be an interesting story if they talk about it. The ship that we see in the first 2 episodes isn't the Discovery, and you only ever see the Discovery in episode 3, so they've basically wasted 3 episodes, or should I say 2 episodes, and then given us Discovery. So I think it should have been a standalone movie by itself or something like that. All it's done is eaten into the episodes that we could have, because there's only going to be 15 episodes in total for this series. So hopefully they can fit in a lot more. So the first 2 episodes are their own standalone story, which then just propels us into who Michael Burnham is and what she's doing in her life, and then how she came aboard the Shenzhou. I don't know how to pronounce it. Shenzhou. So she causes an act of war. The captain dies, and she gets court-martialed. Now, episode 3 comes along, and it's 6 months later, or was it 6 years later? I think it was 6 months later. And it's quite interesting how they transitioned it. It was quite good. One of the things I want to actually talk about before we go into episode 3 is the opening titles. They are actually pretty good. It's a kind of a mix of the Enterprise intro and something completely different, and it's actually pretty funky. The Jerry Goldsmith, the tune when Gene Roddenberry's name comes up, how does it go? It goes da 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 ding, and well, you know which bit I mean. And yeah, it just makes you feel a little tingly, a little warm inside, and you think, oh wow, this is Star Trek, another Star Trek. So in terms of what they've packaged together, I think it's really good. It's obviously early days yet, so what we are going to get is probably a lot more new stuff, new characters being added in like every week or every couple of weeks. And I think what they have currently is actually quite good. I like the look of the show. I like the opening titles. I'm not too sure about some of the characters at the moment, but episode 3 is making me think, what the hell? So we have the captain of the Discovery. He's hiding something. There's something crazy going on, and this is what Michael Burnham is trying to figure out towards the end of the episode, and she can't place it until the captain actually shows her. So I'm not going to spoil it too much, but I think you need to keep your eyes and ears peeled, because they keep dropping in little hints and little bits and pieces to other episodes from other series, and it's actually quite good so far though. I've actually enjoyed it. The only thing I couldn't do is follow along with the Klingon or the English subtitles for when the Klingons were speaking Klingon, and it's just that I just can't be bothered to read. It's actually crazy, but yeah, it's the only downside. So I've had to watch episode 2 again just to recap what went on, but yeah, hopefully they'll speak English for the rest of this series. It seems like Starfleet are doing a lot of crazy things in the background. This could be one of the reasons why the ships look different, but obviously we know why they look different. The one issue that I do have though is the ship emblem that you see on the chest of every officer. It's basically the Enterprise logo. It's everywhere. There's a Admiral version. There's a I don't know, just a blank version that you can see in episode 3. There's also a black one that you can see in episode 3, and that's completely wrong, because the Enterprise logo, which is the Delta Shield A kind of thing, that's actually only meant to be specific to the Enterprise. On Star Trek the original series, every ship had a different design of an emblem, and for some reason they haven't carried on with that. I think they've missed that little detail, and I think that's stupid. The other thing I find stupid is, actually no, there's two other things I find stupid, but the emblem slash comm badge, if you want to call it that, it's not a comm badge. That doesn't happen until Next Generation. Is that they've got holographic technology, so basically if you want to make a phone call, you can make a phone call and you become a hologram at the location of where you want to call, and then you can walk around there. How the hell can you do that? And you can see what's going on in that room. Okay, seeing what's going on in that room's not that new of a thing. It's not that. It's also very plausible that that could happen, but you can't walk around as a hologram on a ship that you're not even on. And then you've also got Sarek and what's her face, Michael Burnham, having some kind of weird telepathy kind of moment where, I think it was episode 2, where she was talking to him and he was talking to her, and he said that I can't keep the connection going for long enough because it will just drain my or something similar to that. It was just really weird. It's like the Vulcans are now Jedi. The guy playing Sarek is alright. I don't really have any issues with him or anything like that. Michael Burnham, though, in episode 3, acts less like a Vulcan than in the first 2 episodes, so I don't know if reality is kicking in or if she has realised that, okay, I can't be acting Vulcan all the time. But to be honest with you, I can't really judge the series until I watched every single episode. So I'm actually looking forward to watching the other episodes, and so far they've been good. I think there's a bit of old Trek in there, but they've taken it to another degree, and the sciencey bit's still in there, which is really good. There's a bit of there's a lot of little technology and gadgets, and there's some callbacks to some old gadgets like the floppy disks, or the plastic floppy disks, and they just put them into the panel, and it's very much like TOS. I think Star Trek Discovery is going to be really good. There are a couple of things I don't like, and then there are a lot of things I do like. So I'm going to carry on watching. It doesn't seem to be as good as the Orville so far, because the Orville seems to be more Star Trek than Star Trek, which is really weird and annoying. It's asking those kind of questions like morals, what would you do or what can you do, and that kind of thing, and how should society act and that kind of thing. It actually really feels like Star Trek, and I found out it's because there's a lot of people on the production side, like from writers, cameramen and all that kind of thing, that worked on the original, or should I say Next Generation, Voyager and DS9 and stuff like that. these two shows are going to be like fighting for who's going to be the better Star Trek show, and that'll be interesting to see. So tell me what you guys think of Star Trek Discovery. Have you watched the pilot episode? Have you watched the third episode? Are you going to watch the rest of the series? Are you going to bother with watching it at all? Do you want to wait until every episode is aired or been released? What do you think about the CBS All Access? Just let me know in the comments below and we'll discuss it further. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. It's not one of my best videos unfortunately, but I'm working long hours away from home, and yeah. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more Star Trek videos. Thank you.